Hey guys, it's Bob, No Rush Homestead. Si and I are in the shop today, working on a few projects. Hope everybody's doing fine, enjoying the nice summer weather we're having. So what I'm working on today is I've got a small project. Misty has some, we just call them crocks. I think it's a 2-gallon crock that she wants a lid for to put a plant on it. And so I went cheap and I bought, not necessarily cheap, I went easy and I bought a round pre-glued top at Menards, and then I cut out a piece to attach to the bottom. I'll show you that. And then Misty has also requested a boot rack for our gardening boots, our snow boots, our mud boots, our rain boots, everything. It's just the two of us, but so I'll kind of turn you around and show you what all we got going on. So again, my shop is still a mess, haven't changed that. Here is the top to the crock, just a round piece of glued wood that I had stained, and then I attached just a piece of plywood to the bottom to keep it from getting knocked off. Sometimes Si gets excited, runs over to the window, and we don't want him to knock off the plant that she's putting on it. So this is the concept that I got going with the boot rack. What I've done is I've taken a board, has some 1x that I have sanded down the edge, attached them through the board, and they are 2.5 inches apart, and so that way it'll be plenty to hold some boots. I got a pair of my concrete boots here. I'll kind of show you, and they'll slip in there. This will be hanging on a metal bracket that I've made. I used to do quite a bit of welding, but it's been a while, and so I spared you guys the torture of watching me weld. When I was a decent welder, a older guy told me that if you had to grind your welds, you're not a welder, you're a grinder. Well, I'm afraid I have turned into a grinder. So what I've got is this will be the top. I'm going to actually mount another piece here. These will face each other like so, and there'll be a shelf on the top. I'll mount the two boards horizontally, going from one bracket to the other, and that's what we'll hang the boots on. Here's the second board. I've got it clamped and ready to start attaching the blocks. So let me get you set up here and we'll start doing that. Alright, so all I'm doing is taking the screws, getting them started where they're just starting to come through. And running them down, and then squeezing them up just a little bit to tighten. Before I tighten them, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and get all the screws started. Make it a little faster here. All right, so I got those attached. And so, I guess to explain it a little better, I did countersink all the screws on the back so they won't be sticking out. And so one boot will go here, skip a spot, another boot will go here. So a pair of boots, pair, pair, and a pair. So it'll hold 4 pairs of boots. I actually cut out and cut, let me see, was there 24? Yeah, 12 on each. Yeah, 24 6-inch 1x1s, 1x1 to use as the pegs to hold them. So one pair of boots, skip a spot. One pair of boots, skip a spot. One pair of boots, that's 2, skip a spot. 3, skip a spot. 4. So 4 pairs of boots on each rack. And so, like I said, so here's the other one that's put together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the frames, the stands, and start getting them ready to mount. So that's the next step here. All right, so what I've done is I've clamped the first rack, I guess you would call it, onto my frame. I haven't attached it yet, it's just held on by clamps. What I wanted to do was make sure that everything's square and setting properly before I mount it to the frame. And so what I did is I'll grab it here. I took a square and made sure that each side is square with the frame and got it clamped into position. And now I'm going to screw it. I stood it up to make sure it's standing right, I guess you could say. So I'm going to put one screw in each side for right now, and then mount the second one and make sure everything's square with it, and then I'll put the second screws in and complete it. So bear with me while I get the right proper screws and get everything lined up here. Okay, so I've debated about what type of screw to use. I think I'm going to put, I don't know if I can get it to focus. There we go. I think I'm going to put 4 wood screws, one in each end of each side of each rack. And then I'm debating about using like a leg screw, or actually going with drilling a hole clear through and using a mechanical and then nut and washer, a mechanical screw and a nut and washer for added strength. I'm kind of kicking it around, debating. I know for sure I'm gonna just do, if nothing else, temporary, put the wood screws in just to hold it in place so I can attach the other one. But I don't really want to drill clear through. To where the bolts or the boots are going to hang, and have something snagging the boots. So that's with just the wood screws. And only one on each side. So it's definitely not sturdy enough. And I can show you. I just put a wood screw on each side right here. Then I've got another hole up here. And I'm thinking about, I don't know, I'm thinking about drilling through and using an actual bolt just to make sure it's strong enough. I could use the lag screw, and I'm sure that would be sufficient. yeah, I think I'm going to try the leg. I'm debating. I'm talking it through in my mind here. I think I am going to try the leg screw and see how sturdy that makes it. Because then I can always drill it out and put a bolt if I don't like how the leg screw works. So let me get it all set back up and we'll see what I decide on. I may change my mind again. Okay. So I've got the second rack clamped up there, temporary, because I don't know if it's where I need it yet or not. Let's see, 8 and 5/8. 8 and 5/8. All right, so I'm going to use 2 more wood screws. Got the wood screws in. To temporary hold them. So the boots will go like that. And you can hang a pair of boots together. Or you can hang them down low also. I think I like it. There's the front view. And nothing's painted yet. That's all this wood is repurposed. The iron I had bought for another project, the angle iron, and ended up not using it on that project. So it was left over from that. And then the 2x4s that I ripped down to make 1x1s were from, I can't remember what I took those off of. And then this was the backing boards that I'm using. We had a built-in unit, shelving unit that was in our living room that was by the entryway. And we really just didn't like it. All it did was kind of be in the way. It cut down the size of the room and collected dust. And so we tore it out last year, but it's pretty good solid plywood actually, but it's pretty solid and good stuff. So I ended up repurposing it for the back here, and then the other piece is going to be what goes on the top as a shelf. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up, and I think I'm just going to use the leg screws. But I'll get you set up here, and I'm going to drill the holes, pre-drill the holes so I don't split anything out, and put leg screws in the other 4 holes. That way it should tighten it up. So let me get that set up here. All right, I think I'm ready here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 5/32 drill bit to kind of pre-drill the hole so I don't strip it out, and I try to stop short of going clear through. I don't want the wood to split. That one went clear through. Dang it. Oops. Don't worry, I'll edit that out. Alright, so there's the pre-drill. Now I think I'll get some washers and put those on just to kind of, I don't want the actual leg screws going clear through. Alright, so I guess what I actually got are fender washers. That's the only things that I'm out of the smaller washers, so I guess I'm going to use those, which is a little bit of overkill for what I'm gonna do, but all right. So I think I'll just run them in with the impact here and then finish them with a ratchet so I don't over tighten them. And I'm sure the impact sounds awesome on video, but I'm kind of cheap that way. Or lazy, I guess. Work smarter, not harder. I don't know. Whatever the saying is. Alright, so now I'll get a ratchet and tighten them up. Two of them. There. Well, that made it pretty sturdy. I like that. Yeah. Doesn't move at all. So hopefully you're able to see what I'm doing there. And then the last piece of the project is going to be a top shelf. That'll be like that. We can set maybe our shoes or something on. Maybe my hat collection, and kind of keep it out of the way. Hold it in place. So I've got it hanging over the back a little bit because I might as well, because this isn't going to go straight up against the wall because of the head of the leg screws. And I could rip that down, which I might do so it's not so big, because that's a pretty good sized shelf. I'll take a quick measurement here. Yeah, it's 13 inches. If I was to, I guess, if I look at the boots stick out about, my boots stick out about 12 inches. From the back, they are about 13 inches. So yeah, it's not bad. it kind of covers them. I was going to make it so just mount the whole thing on the wall in our attached garage. That way it's there out of the way when we come out or come in. We can just take our boots off there and hang them up. But if you've been following along, this isn't our permanent home. We're still looking for an acreage. And so after I make this, I think I'll probably want to take it with us. So that's why I made it standalone, freestanding, I guess you would say. So that's what it's gonna look like from the back. And then the front will have the shelf on top and 2 boot racks underneath. Alright, so I think I am going to leave it like that. And I think I'll lay it down on the workbench, and that way I can attach that top a little easier. Right now I just got it clamped on there. Just see how it looks. It's not exactly where I want it yet. So, alright, let me get it laid down and I'll catch back up with you. Okay, got it set up here. I don't have it in position yet. Tape measure. Quarter. Inch and a half. Inch and 3/8. Inch and 3/8. Alright. Now in place. Probably wouldn't have to clamp both sides, but I'm going to because I'm going to have to kind of come in at a weird angle to use mounted the rack on it first. I went and got a long drill bit. So I could reach around the rack with the drill bit to get these screws in. Oop. Yeah, it is. There we go. There's those two. There's the top. I'll set you back and stand it up. And again, there it is standing up, freestanding. The top shelf really didn't interfere with hanging the boots up. I'm sure like during wet season we'll want the wet boots hanging lower. Keep them from dripping on everything. So I think that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sand the top a little bit. You can see where I pulled some nails out. And then I'm not going to worry about puttying the nail holes or anything. It's not a fine piece of furniture that is going to be on display. It's to be used and abused. So I am going to paint it. I'll probably just paint it like a flat black. Just spray paint it. Nothing too fancy, but that's what it is. So far anyway. I'll take a little video of the finished product, and after I get it painted, and maybe even show you where we're putting it in the garage. So that's it. Nothing too big for big project today. Just about a little video on what I'm working on. Hope you like it. Please subscribe to the channel. Helps us out, and we appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Be safe. Thanks. All right, here's the finished product. I just finished painting it. I didn't end up having any flat black, so I had to use gloss black. Had a can and a half of that, so nothing fancy, but that'll sure work for what we have planned for it. So again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.